Today I'm going to show you how I use my Ikonart stencils to stencil this pie. So I've never done a pie before, I've never even tried it. I have used Ikonart stencils on a birthday cake and also on Christmas cookies and birthday cookies, but I've never tried a pie, and so I thought, let's try it. I did have a little bit of a fail that I go over in the video as well, but I'm happy with how the final airbrushed pie turned out. So this is exactly how I did it. So of course, first you gotta make your stencil, and I just do that like normal. Print your design, expose your stencil with the Ikonart stand, wash it out, and then dry it. After it's dried, pop it back under the light to post-expose it, and you're ready to use it. But if you want to use it for food, you have to do one more step. You have to add the Ikonart Stencil Glaze to your stencil. And what this does is add a protective coating on the stencil to make it safe for food contact. So it deadens that adhesive that's on the back of the stencil, and it adds a protective coating on the top so that your stencil is completely food safe. So once you have that all done and the stencil is dry, you're ready to use it. So my first idea for this pie was to put powdered sugar through the stencil. And I thought that this would work kind of like how mica powder works, where you could just rub it through the stencil and through the mesh and it would stick behind the stencil. But after adding it and lifting my stencil, as you can see here, for whatever reason, none of the powder went through the stencil at all. Not even a little bit, not even a trace. No worries, I'm gonna go with plan B. So I'm just gonna wash my stencil, dry it, because the stencil is still completely reusable, and then I am going to airbrush using my Countess airbrush and the airbrush color in totally brown. So if you've seen me do the cookies before, you've seen me airbrush them, this is exactly how I do it. You just add the color to your Airbrusher and put the stencil on your surface and lightly airbrush. You don't want any of the areas to pool up, like you don't want airbrush color to pool up on your stencil. So it really does matter like how much pressure you use. I'm probably using a little bit too much here. I should have probably backed off a little bit and like started with a lighter coating and then went more. Because as you can see here, as I lift the stencil, it does look really, really nice, but it does like kind of like bled underneath. And that's just because the pie was wet. I mean, I did try to blot off as much excess liquid as I could, but it's, you know, it's still a wet pie. So the ink did kind of spread a little bit, but honestly, I'm not even mad about that. It looks kind of like almost wood burned, or like, I don't even know. It looks kind of cool on the pie. The only thing I would say is maybe I would have blocked off the edges even around my stencil more with something like paper towel or something, because my overspray from my Airbrusher did kind of like go on the edges of the stencil or of the pie, but it still looks really cute and really cool, and it's a really fun way to add designs to a pie or really any baked good. It's really fun. My name is Fawn, and I share tips and tricks on how to make and use Ikonart stencils. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on how to use the Ikonart Stencil Glaze, check out this video right here. And if you want to get notified every time we upload a video, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.